it is... Go, go, go!
This is the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship.
Hello and welcome. Good morning to round 4 of the 2017 Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. And it's a fantastically sunny and gorgeous day here in Lincolnshire at Tattersall for the second group of races. And we have the AC40 rookies coming up today. Right now they're on track, about to start with their green flag lap. And Mini GP50s are out up next, and followed by the Senior Mini Motos. Junior LC40s coming up after that. Pit Bike 140 and Moto Team are after the LC40s. And then it's Mini GP70s, Pit Bike Open, AC40 Pros and the sidecars. And then we'll do it all again later this afternoon, presumably after lunch. Timetables are provisional. We are running approximately 5 or 6 minutes ahead of schedule, so take that as a warning. My name is Lester. We're live online right now on coolfabracing.com and on our Facebook page as well, which is facebook.com/coolfabracing. Our commentators for today are Dan Marr and myself, Lester Forbes. Dan, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Lester. Good morning, listening at home, listening trackside, here at Cool Fab Racing, and of course online as well. It's great to have you joining us for what's set to be a great set of races this morning, and indeed this afternoon. We start out now with the AC40 rookies here due to run at 10:35, but as Lester said, we're running about 5 or 6 minutes ahead of schedule. The Mini GP50s will be getting underway around about 10:50 according to our schedule. 11:10 for the Senior Mini Motos, 11:30 for the Junior LC40s. The Pit Bike 140s and Moto teams are out at 11:45. 12 o'clock for the Mini GP70s. Pit Bike opens at 2:20. AC40 Pros are at 2:40 and 2:55 for the sidecars. And then around about after that will be lunchtime. And then we do it all again this afternoon. We'll go through those times later on in the day. As we say, we're running about 5 or 6 minutes early, so you can see there's some frantic action going on at the moment to try and get all of our first set, the AC40 rookies, out there. So what's going on at the moment is everyone going up to the grid, starting on the green flag laps in just a few, or green flag lap in just a moment's time. Everyone, we've just got caught a little bit in arrears here, but nonetheless, as we're just getting ready, and we'll see what goes on in just a few moments' time. So let's quickly run through our grid for the AC40 Pros, and it will be Luca Hopkins who will be starting on pole position ahead of Harrison Crosby. Kyle Payne and James Rose Jr. will be on the second row of the grid. Row 3 will be Harrison Desoy and Orlando Phillips. Sullivan Mounsey will be in 7th, 8th for Jamie Woodcock. 9th and 10th will be Ben Joliffe and Clayton Edmonds. 11th and 12th will be Monty Amer and Ethan Sparks. Alfie Davidson and Roland Harris will be on row 7. Row 8, Saffron Watley and Lucas Brown. Alessandro Valente will be on row 9 alongside Jacob Stevenson. Warwick Brady and Elliot Jones are 19th and 20th. 21st will be Jada Howe, and 22nd will be Joshua Kirch. So as we are getting ready onto our green flag lap, and as we move away, for those of you who are lucky enough to be listening online, you'll also get a good view of part of our lap here on our Facebook at Cool Fab Racing. Of course, you can get in touch with us. You can let us know who you're rooting for, who you're going to be supporting. But as we say, we are getting ready for the first race of today, which is the AC40 rookies, coming up towards the middle part of the lap now. And for those of you, as we say, listening and viewing online, you'll be able to see as they come into our shot now. You'll be see all the way from this part up to the end of the lap. So great views for those who are online, also great views for those who are trackside with us today. And those of you who are just listening along at home with a cup of tea and reading the morning newspaper, or whatever you like to do in the mornings, then thank you very much for joining us. It's going to be a great day's racing, and we are making our way up to the grid.
And a big hello to everybody who's already tuned into the Facebook live stream, including Mary Kirch and Kevin Nelson as well. So big hello to you. Do share and like all the posts, because because it's nice to do.
It helps, doesn't it? It helps, doesn't it? It makes us all feel it's one great big community here, Cool Fab. That's what I've learned from being here this week, and it's
exactly
a really nice thing to see. It's a great group of guys going with some absolutely fantastic racing to boot as well. So we just get onto the grid then for the start of our first race of Sunday. Race 2 for the AC40 rookies, round 4 of the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bike Championship for 2017 here at Tashajul. The flagman makes his way up towards the start line. We're here on the green flag. Up goes the flag. Down goes the flag now. And that's a decent start by Luca Hopkins. That's going to be enough, I believe, to make it into the lead coming into turn 1. In fact, yes, it is. Although closely followed, it looks like it's Harrison Crosby. A couple of people running wide, but more or less, in fact, so I was just about to say that it was a clean start. We've lost someone at turn 1. Only a small piece of contact just stuck at the hairpin. They're going to get him underway and keep moving, although that could be a time 2 people involved there. We'll let you know what happens as we come around the middle part of the lap for the first time. And you can see the battle for second and third looking very tight. Everyone is no, in fact those guys won. We've lost one at the first corner already, but luckily no one is in trouble. Just getting it out of the way as we lost someone else. That's 44 who's gone off, which is going to be Sullivan Mounsey, who's gone off at turn number 6.
Yeah, he just came to a halt, unfortunately, for Sullivan on his return after his recent incident. But there's a fight happening down at turn 1 for the lead. It's going to be close.
But it's Harrison Crosby who took it over the line, 0.233 of a second ahead of Luca Hopkins at the end of the first lap. Kyle Payne did stay in third place, but Orlando Phillips and Jamie Woodcock have made their way ahead of Harrison Desoy for 4th and 5th. So Harrison now down into 6th. Monty Amer and Ethan Sparks also making some very good starts indeed. Clayton Edmonds remaining in 10th place. But up towards turns 4 and 5. Up towards, we've got a good little battle going on for second place. And of course it's Luca Hopkins who does have the position so far, defending very nicely indeed there from Kyle Payne. Up towards turn number 8, the first of our right-handers to end the lap. A much longer right-hander, which brings us over the start-finish line. And it is going to be Harrison Crosby in the lead. But is it still going to be Luca Hopkins? Yes, it is. Luca Hopkins has got 0.241 ahead of Kyle Payne. Jamie Woodcock's dropped down into 6th place now. So Harrison Desoy has made his way through. Meanwhile, very close indeed, not just for second place, but this is the battle for the leads coming through turns 2 and 3. Turn 3, the first of our
and someone
long
stopped
right-handers.
just at the start line, and they've just come to a halt. Problems.
Could that be Alessandro Valente? I believe it could well be.
Yeah, well, they've got going again, so all good, I suppose. Dropped a few positions.
So yes, thank you very much for that, Lester. And as we say, it's all getting tight for the lead. It's 4 bikes for the lead of this race. Crosby, Hopkins, Payne and Phillips. So a cracking little battle emerging here, even on lap number 2. We've got 6 laps to go as they cross the line now. The battle, of course, hasn't changed yet, but Luca Hopkins has just got a fast lap as we got someone off before turn number 4, rejoins the battle, rejoins the race, and that looks like, could that be 82? I can't see where you're pointing, Lester, but we are looking, we got someone else down now as well, so...
Yeah, quite a few incidents at this early morning, someone going down and being carried back on track, and the racing continues, and it is a very interesting fight for the lead. It is Harrison Crosby out in front. We think that will be covered by a local yellow and another stoppage.
It's the same bike which went out just a moment ago. I can't see them, and there's one down at turn.
And they're dropping like flies. Another person's come to a stop on track as well, and another one as well. Wow.
It seems to be maybe they're just the track temperature's a bit colder this morning. That's 78 or 178, I believe. So 178. So that could be Saffron Watley, who's stopped out on circuit here at turn number. Well, that's basically on the start-finish line. So, meanwhile, the battle for the race lead continues. It's very close indeed. We've got us. There we go. So Verstappen gets underway.
The race leaders are negotiating the back marker, I believe. Fantastically close up front. Harrison Crosby, last time around over the line, less than half a second in it, and you'll be able to see on the camera that we've got on the Facebook live stream as well, Dan.
Yes, you will be able to. It's a great battle that's emerging so far. And as they come over the line now, 4 laps left to go, half of the race to go. And Luca Hopkins has come over the line. He's down now into 4th place, so he's lost out 2 positions on that last lap. So it's Crosby, Payne, Phillips and Hopkins, your top 4. Desoy, Woodcock, Sparks, Amer, Edmonds and Harris, your top 10. Waiting for the rest of the field to stream through. And as we continue on with the race, it was only 0.129 of a second for the battle for the lead. So it is looking very tight indeed. And as we can see, it looks like it has changed. In fact, we've got a back marker. Is that a back marker in front of us?
There are a couple of back markers, having a lot of people stop temporarily on track.
But I think the battle for the lead's looking like it's changed. Could it be that Payne has made his way through? We'll find out as he comes over the line now. And in fact, yes, it has. Kyle Payne up to the lead of the race. So Crosby has dropped back into 2nd place, and Payne has just taken the fastest lap as well, 55.435 seconds. And as they make their way through turns 2 and 3 now, the gap extending once more, and I think Crosby now in the clutches of Orlando Phillips for 3rd place. We could lose out 2 positions in 2 laps.
He's had a bad lap.
He's had a very bad couple of laps up towards turn number 4.
And a stoppage. Someone stopped at turn 1 on the what looks like to be the outside of turn 1. Can't exactly see who that is from this vantage point, but yellow flags out for turn number 1, Dan.
Yep, so yellow flags at turn 1. That takes out one of the best overtaking spots. I suppose this is going to be a benefit to Harrison Crosby, who, as we see, will be coming over the line now in just a moment's time. And another fastest lap, 54.881. He's flying in this one. He's got 1.7 seconds now on Harrison Crosby. Orlando Phillips is very close for 2nd place, so the battle for 2nd place emerging. The fact we got a yellow flag at obviously coming up towards turn 1, so you can't overtake there. Turns 2 and 3 are green though. It's looking like a fantastic battle, and I think it might have changed once again, you know. So as we come up towards turn number 4 now, side by side between the pair of them. And it just to me looks like that could actually be Orlando Phillips has made the move on Crosby.
I think that is, yes. Orlando Phillips moves up a place
into 2nd place. So there we go, through turns number 6 and 7. And as they turn through turn 8 now, which is the tighter right-hander here at Tattershall. And in fact, he makes it back through once again. They go side by side over the line. 2nd place, they go side by side. And Crosby just takes it. Crosby has just got it. Yellow flag's obviously at turn 1, so you can't overtake into it.
Fantastic action, literally, as you say, Dan, side by side. People watching online and at the track will see an epic fight for 2nd place, while Kyle Payne is stretching his lead.
2.038 seconds now is the gap between Payne and Crosby with just 1 lap to go. So we've got half a lap until the end of this session.
They're approaching some back markers, some people further down the order. And hopefully that won't play any part as they skillfully negotiate some of the riders further down the field. And yeah, so far there's been no incidents for the past few laps by everyone. Everyone's looking pretty good so far, Dan.
They are indeed. And as we come over the line, the final lap flag is being given, a checker flag's given actually, so it is Kyle Payne who wins our first race of the day, the AC40 rookie, the first of 2 today, ahead of Harrison Crosby and Orlando Phillips. So a great battle for the lead. In fact, it was only 54 thousandths of a second which separated Harrison from Orlando in that one. So what a great way to start off our day. 4th and 5th would be Luca Hopkins and Jamie Woodcock, with 6th place being Ethan Sparks, Monty Amer in 7th, 8th place for Clayton Edmonds in the end, 9th for Ronald Harris, 10th place over the line should be coming Lucas Brown, and in fact no, it's Ben Jolliffe who takes 10th place ahead of Lucas Brown, Brown dropping back to 11th on that final lap. Sullivan Mounsey will be taking 12th place, with 13th going to Joshua Kirch. Jacob Stevenson, Alessandro Valente, Jada Howe, Warwick Brady, Harrison Desoy, Elliot Jones and Alfie Davidson taking the end. Alfie not taking the flag. Saffron Watley and James Rose Jr. in the end also not taking the flag. So a great start there for our first race of the day. Out next will be the Mini GP50s.
It is...
Go, go, go!
This is the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. The original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing. The original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing.
Well, round number 4 of the 2017 championship, and that was race number 1 of the day in the AC40 Rookies. Fantastic victory, and another race coming up later this afternoon. Out next on track, it's the Mini GP50s, and they're just in the assembly area, waiting, actually going out now. And up next, Senior Mini Motos, followed by Junior LC40. Then it's Pit Bike 140 and Moto Team, Mini GP70s after that, as we hurtle towards lunch already. Commentators for this round is myself, Lester Forbes, and Dan Marr, who can be heard online at coolfabracing.com. Live radio coverage all day.
Well, thank you very much, Lester. Indeed, at Cool Fab Racing, Facebook, Twitter, get in touch with us. Let us know how much you're enjoying the racing here today. We might have only had one race, but we've got plenty of racing yet to come. And as we saw yesterday, the Mini GP50s are going to be a very, very good race indeed. And this will see Casey O'Gorman start on pole position ahead of Evan Belford, Bailey Stewart Campbell and Corey Stainer. There we go, got it right this time. On row 2, row 3, Jaden Toomer and Holly Harris. Row 4 is Thomas Gomes and Finn Smart, Sean Abel and Dylan Mellor. That's going to be on row 5. Row 6 is Mason Johnson and Karis Jones. Row 7, Elliot Crosby and Sandy Horn. Ben Smith, 15th place, all at the back on his bill, which is a shame to see. But with 2 races today, plenty of opportunity to come up. 12 racing laps for this one, so we have a little bit longer to enjoy the Mini GP50s, and if anything is to go by from yesterday's racing, we're in for an absolute treat, Lester.
Certainly is, yes. It was a pretty epic race yesterday, as was the GP70s as well. And this is, I would say, Dan, one to watch. Will it be a Casey O'Gorman domination once again? He's been truly mighty all season so far, for quite a long time, actually. What's going to happen?
We're going to find out over the next 12 laps here. Of course, the first of 2 races today, the second race of the weekend, but nonetheless we get ready to go onto the green flag lap here for the Mini GP50s. Thank you very much to the timekeepers for sending us all the results as ever. Thank you very much. Of course, you can find all of the timekeeping online as well. We'll be keeping you abreast when we can as well. So we get ready for the green flag lap, and in fact we've got a bike being wheeled backwards and forwards just to try and get it sorted. That looks like on the back of...
Let me see who that is.
I think that looks like 99. In fact, it's the orange and black bike. Leathers say 98 in fact, so it could be Thomas Gomes. And in fact, if it's on the 3rd row, like I believe so, 4th row, in fact it could be like Thomas Gomes.
Yeah, he's got it going in.
Gets underway, although struggling just a little bit. Not much drive out of the thing, but he does get on nonetheless. So Thomas Gomes can continue in the race, and in fact he's trying to take up his retake his position. Now onto the green flag lap we go, and despite that slight drama, we get underway. So anyway, so as we make our way up towards the second part of the lap on this green flag lap, through turns 4 and 5. Turn 5 is a very tight right-hander. You can run out onto the curb as much as you want. It's got quite a lot of grip there, as we saw early on today. Yesterday we started out wet, and then it started getting drier and drier. Thankfully today we've had no rain overnight, so it's lovely sunny conditions. It looks rather nice out there, I'd
It's very
say.
hot, Dan. It's very hot.
Well, I'm going to find out the temperature actually. According to my phone, it's 20 degrees today, so it'll be 21 degrees. So plenty of air temperature here at Tattershall. I'll say it right eventually. As we make our way up to the grid then, for the second race of this morning, the Mini GP50s. And Casey O'Gorman, as we say, will it be another domination walkover from him? Can Evan Belford get a good start, keep him back for just a couple of laps? Well, this is the time to find out, we suppose, as Thomas Gomes gets into position. Everyone getting those last minute notes and last minute words from our marshals here. Thank you very much for all of them, for all their support as ever. Without this, we simply couldn't go racing, so thank you to all of the marshals, the timekeeping, race control, everyone, as the start line marshal picks up the green flag. Of course, the green flag starts. The flag will go up any second now. Up goes the flag. Drops it quite quickly, and that's a decent start. Enough by Casey O'Gorman indeed to take the lead coming through turn 1. Second place, that does look like Evan Belford will just keep it. I had a bit of a doubt in my mind as to whether he could. He did drop back a little bit, but coming through to turn 2 and 3 for the first time. And Casey O'Gorman has cleared off effectively. He's got a good 3 or 4 bike lengths coming through the first couple of corners. He's just got absolute confidence in himself to get a good result. There's a good little scrap going on for third place so far. The midfield battle as well looking very tight. And number 52 it is, Evan Belford in second place. Third place though is the one I'd say keep our eyes on as we come through turn 8 for the first time. The tight right-hander. Immediately after that is a very long right-hander that bookends our lap. And it is Casey O'Gorman who will be in the lead of the race ahead of Evan Belford. Corey Stainer does get into third place though.
Yeah, already starting to stretch out a massive advantage. Almost 2 seconds on lap number 1. Casey O'Gorman showing once again just how dominant he is being. He's looking fantastically stable on that bike at the moment. Everybody riding beautifully so far, Dan.
Of course, so we've seen Corey Stainer move up into third place. Bailey Stewart Campbell's dropped down to fourth. Finn Smart's made up a couple of positions. He's now into sixth. Holly Harris has dropped back to 8th. Ninth now for Sandy Horn. And we've got someone who's gone wide at turn number 5.
Can we see who
does
that is?
Does rejoin though, so it was only going to lose time. That's 15, I believe. 14 it could be, so it could be Finn Smart or Holly Harris. So we'll find out as they come over the line then for the second time. 11 laps left to run, and it is Casey Gorman. Fastest lap, 48.997, 2.5 seconds clear. And
Finn Smart bravely racing this weekend, having slightly fractured his arm at the previous round as well. So well done for Finn for getting back on the bike and racing here this weekend.
It is. It's a great demonstration of what he can do, and it is actually Holly Harris who went wide coming through turn number 5. Of course, thanks to our timing screens, we've figured that one out. Meanwhile, I'm just looking now, and there's a great battle going on for 5th place. That is 14 Finn Smart in the head of that battle, but behind him it got Jaden Toomer, Thomas Gomes and Sandy Horn. That's looking like a great little scrap for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th at the moment. 48.8 now for Casey O'Gorman, 3.2 seconds now ahead of Evan Belford. We said it could be a walkover, Leicester, and so far it's looking that way, isn't it?
Well, we don't want to jinx it, of course, because we've had a little moment of jinxing riders so far this weekend in the commentary box. But the fact is, he's more than 3 seconds ahead already, with 10 laps to go. Casey O'Gorman, he's absolutely enjoying life out front at the moment, with Evan Belford unfortunately nowhere near.
And interestingly enough, Karis Jones has actually dropped back into 13th place. Dylan Mellor and Holly Harris making up the positions. So as we come over to start another lap, another fastest lap there from Casey O'Gorman. 4.044 seconds now ahead of Evan Belford. A 48.864 is the advantage. Now though, the battle for 6th is really on Jaden Toomer. The cork in the bottle. Thomas Gomes and Sandy Horn behind them. So it's a very good three bite scrap as they come through. Left-handers turn 2, the right-hander at turn 3. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for this one. It's looking like a great demonstration already. Up towards turn 4, the first of the left-handers, are very tight left-handers. And we've got a yellow flag out as that's off, as gone. We can't see who that is. Picks up the bike. Well, certainly trying to pick up the bike.
You'll be able to see it on the live webcam on Facebook.
But we can't. We'll identify that bike. Evan Belford hasn't come through. And normally he'd be in second place and he would have come through. But it is Evan Belford, I suspect, who's gone wide. So we saw this yesterday where people on the podium positions just having a bit too much momentum and losing out time and, of course, falling off the bike. Big shame there for Evan, who was doing very well in second place. But this now means that Corey Stainer up to second place, Bailey Stewart Campbell now on the lowest rung on the rostrum. And the battle for fourth place is the one, fourth, fifth, sixth is the one you want to keep your eyes on now. Sandy Horn moving up into fifth place, so Jaden Toomer now in sixth. So losing out a position, not really changing, of course, on the timing screens, but losing out on the road. A big shame for him, and he's going to want to try and get the bit between his teeth in order to get the position back.
Casey O'Gorman way out in front already. That was a terrible look for the former second place rider. It's now Corey Stainer 11 seconds back, and
we've got a great battle going on at turn 8 now, coming through up towards the start finish line. And this looks like that's the battle for 8th place so far. Who's going to be at the head of this? It was Sean Abel. Dylan Mellor has made it up into 9th place though. Holly Harris replacing Elliot Crosby in the top 10 now as well. So 8th, 9th and 10th and 11th is looking very close indeed.
There was a position change, I think.
Yes, so coming through turn 3 now, the right-hander hugging the apex as much as they can, defending on the inside. That is, of course, 330. That's Sean Abel. Dylan Mellor's now trying to on the attack. He makes his move up the inside, coming into turn number 5 on the right-hander. Makes it through. And Dylan Mellor, I believe, on his way through. So side by side, though, for those couple of positions. So that's for 9th place. Up towards turn 8 and 9, Dylan Mellor, it looks like he's going to keep the position, although I could yet not be sure. Over the line they come. Holly Harris somehow has made it up into 8th place. 9th place Dylan Mellor, as I say. Sean Abel's dropped back into 10th. Evan Belford now up into 11th. Elliot Crosby now down to 12th.
Fantastic scrap for second place between Bailey Stewart Campbell and Corey Stainer. Around half a second. Keep your eyes on that if you're watching online or here at the track as well. And also a close battle between Sandy Horn and Jaden Toomer, who is right behind him.
And of course, with 5 laps left to run, we're past the half distance. What's the gap between Corey and Casey? Well, it's not even Corey anymore. It's Bailey Stewart Campbell has moved up into second place on that last lap. So 14.5 seconds the gap between Casey and Bailey now. Only 0.345 a second behind is Corey. Otherwise, coming up towards turn 1, Finn Smart, Sandy Horn, Jaden Toomer all looking very close together. The battle for 9th and 10th is looking good though. Evan Belford now past Sean Abel for 10th place, and he's only 0.271 of a second behind Dylan Mellor. They come through turn number 1, and as they thread their ways through turn 2 and 3, I suspect it could all change once again. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Evan up into 9th, maybe up into 8th by the end of this race, with just 4 laps left to go now as Casey came over the line on that last one. Very close indeed. And
I've been watching the fight for second place as Bailey Stewart Campbell just gets slightly ahead, pulling away from Corey Stainer on that lap. And in fact, it looks like there is a position move for second position almost about to happen, not quite. Corey Stainer caught Bailey Stewart Campbell again, and these two are going to stay at it for quite some time.
They are indeed. And 34 is the battle, obviously, in 3rd place. So obviously this battle for second place, Casey's in the lead. Corey, though, wants to try as hard as he can to try and make his way back up into second place. He seems to be closing in the twisty stuff in the midpoint of our lap. However, get to some of the longer corners, you can just see where Bailey Stewart Campbell is really running the bike and just got more confidence, but he might get a run. Corey might have a cheeky look up the inside coming into turn 1, can't quite do it. He was much better in the slipstream. Coming through turn 2, the left-hander up towards turn 3, the right-hander very long corners, not quite going to be able to make a move. You've just got to be patient.
And with 3 laps to go in this race, the reason why we're not talking about the leaders is because he's so far out in front at the moment. 17 seconds. The fight on track, the best fight on track right now is for second place. Keep your eyes on that, Dan.
And of course, yes, Bailey Stewart Campbell, it looked like he just struggled coming out of turn 4. The left-hander, the front just lurched a little bit. They go almost side by side through turn 7. A big wiggle on there for Bailey, who just manages to keep it ahead, only marginally low. The cutback could quite work. They're going to go side by side, almost over the line. It's nose to tail up towards the start, and in fact up towards turn 1. Up the inside goes Corey Stainer. He's got the position back up to second place through turn 1. The question is, though, with 2 laps to go, can he keep the position? I think he might just have enough, but we don't really know with this kind of racing. As we saw yesterday, just because you got a position doesn't mean you're going to be able to keep it.
And a side-by-side fight over the line happening.
That's Harris and Belford for 8th and 9th. What did I say? Did I say give me in the top 9, top 8? Holly Harris is going to have to try and defend as best as she can. But I suspect with the pace that Evan's showing, he's a clear half a second faster than Holly Harris on that last lap, with the last lap flag on out now. Casey O'Gorman onto the final lap. But as I say, coming through some traffic, it's just been a great drive from all of them out there. And of course, Corey Strainer now got a second to the best of a second ahead of Bailey Stewart Campbell. So I think that start position going to be wrapped up, touch wood. And as we make it up towards the line now, Casey is going to take the flag in just a few moments' time, of course. Where's the time though? 52 ahead of 15. Evan Belford ahead of Holly Harris. As in just a few moments' time, I suspect the checker flag flies, and there we go. Casey O'Gorman takes the checkered flag. What's the gap going to be? What a supreme
big
ride
gap.
from him.
He's a monster today, Casey O'Gorman.
Absolutely fantastic stuff here at Tattersall. As look, someone going very wide on the exit.
There was a bit of argy-bargy in the midfield.
Oh, really?
Didn't see who that was exactly, but yeah, we're just now getting second place over the line.
20.532 seconds Corey Stainer was behind Casey. 21.8 behind was Bailey Stewart Campbell as the flag is out. And Finn Smart will be due to coming over in 4th place, but it might change ever so slightly. No, it doesn't. So Finn Smart up into 4th. 5th place for Jaden Toomer. Sandy Horn 6th. 7th place for Thomas Gomes after those start line issues. 8th place in the end was Evan Belford. He dropped it on the first couple of laps. He's going to be sorry with himself for throwing it from 2nd place, but in 8th place, a great drive back through the field, 40 seconds behind our race winner. Holly Harris was 9th, 10th place Dylan Miller, 11th was Sean Abel, 12th was Elliot Crosby, 13th was Karis Jones, 14th was Ben Smith, and Mason Johnson in the 808 only completed 1 lap before DNFing. So that was race 2 for the Mini GP 50s, and we'll see them out again in action at 2 o'clock precisely. So there we go, back to you, Lester.
The original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing.
Thank you very much, Dan Marr. Brilliantly called, and a brilliant race as well. Casey O'Gorman absolutely sensational in that one, and we, as Dan says, we'll see him back out again, all things being good, later this afternoon for race number 3. Thank you very much for all the comments coming into the Facebook live stream. We are live on Facebook at the moment, and people watching and listening to the live radio stream. It is visual radio, i.e. It's not a full TV programme. It's just a simple camera over our stunning radio live coverage, which is in super stereo as well, if you care to check out the website coolfabracing.com. Adrian Pendrell says go on JJ, and this is regarding previous races this morning. Mick Feekins says come on Finn. Ziggy Archer's been tuned in as well, and hello to Helen Cook, mum of James Cook and Max as well, and to everybody else who has shared, and do like our live stream because it all helps, it really does. Dan Marr is poised and ready to call another brilliant race, and this is the Senior Mini Motos race number 2
of the weekend. Thank you very much, Lester Forbes, and we'll be hearing from him throughout the course of the race as he joins me in the commentary booth today. And we will see Ryan Grant and Matt Birkin on the front row of the grid, although it's calling on our timing screens, Josh Data, who is actually not in 7th place, and in 7th place is Mark Payne, so it's all confused. But let's okay, going off the information I have in front of me, let's just do that, shall we? Ryan Grant will be on pole position ahead of Matt Birkin. Andy Whedon and Jamie King will be on row 2. Row 3 is Mark Payne and Justin Bainbridge. Row 4, Josh Data and William Birkin. 5th row will be Paul Nicholls and Chris Yeomans, and 11th place will be Ross Michael. But according to my timing screen, it's actually Josh Data. Okay. So yeah, after clarification, I'm right. Who'd have thought? Anyway, so as we complete the green flag lap here at Tattershall for the senior mini-moto race, it's going to be a great race indeed. I'm very much looking forward to it, and it's going to be a good 1-2 call as they come up towards the line now, and you can see a reasonably sized grid here, so we are going to enjoy another great race over 8 laps here. So we just wait for the flag marshal to get back into position. Green flag in his hand. Of course, the flag will go up. There'll be a hold, and then we go. Green flag goes up. Drop the flag. There we go. Everyone gets underway. Very cleanly indeed. It looks almost 4 wide going into turn 1 for the first time. Ryan Grant could have been the one who was in the lead.
Owens, there's been a collision down at turn 1, a couple of riders down, and they're both back up again, albeit last.
And of course, the one much more disgruntled than the other as we come through turn 3 and someone else goes wide at turn number 3 as well. I can confirm Ryan Grant in the lead of this race, so he did get a decent start. Second place, though, is looking quite a bit more tricky indeed. Number 7, of course. Number 7, which is Andy Whedon, looks to be in 4th place. He's challenging for 3rd, coming through turn 8 and turn 9 for the first time. And all of our runners and riders, or the one that got caught up at turn 1 is now back underway, but the one at turn 3 will no longer take any more place in this, any more part in this race. But it is Jamie King in the lead ahead of Ryan Grant, Andy Whedon in 3rd, 4th place is Josh Data, Mark Payne in 5th, 6th place is Justin Bainbridge, William Birkin in 7th, 8th is Chris Yeomans, 9th Paul Nicholls, Matt Birkin and Ross Michael not coming over the line, but we will find out about one of them in just a moment.
Fascinating fight for the lead, a 3-way scrap and almost taking a second position. I think he might have gone around the outside perhaps, but keep your eyes if you're watching on the live Facebook feed for the leaders. Jamie King.
And down has gone. That is down has gone. Ryan Grant, I believe, who's just gone down.
Wow,
just you say that. Back and stood up, so that's all right. Interestingly enough, of course, Jamie King was battling away with Andy Whedon in 2nd place, and Whedon now setting the fastest lap, 52.779. It was Ryan Grant who went down on that one.
Well, I said you should watch out for him, and
watch out, he did. So Josh Darter's now promoted up into 3rd place. As I just sort of hear some interesting comments in my ear, we will hear, of course, Josh Data in 3rd, 4th place for Mark Payne, 5th for Justin Bainbridge. William Birkin is in 6th, and it's 3 wide, as you say. And down has gone. It's the race leader who's gone down. I think that is, that could be Jamie King who's gone down.
He's furious with himself.
Absolutely
He's back up on his feet. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well,
oh dear, indeed.
He is furious.
And Andy Whedon has got an almost uninhibited lead. It is Matt Birkin who is off at turn 3 on that first lap. He's not come round. Ross Michael does continue on the 79, but Andy Whedon, staying out of trouble, keeps the race lead by 2.6 seconds. Mark Payne now up into 3rd, 2nd place, Josh Data in 3rd, and everyone's just moving up a position. So keep your eyes peeled, because it can change with every single lap here in the senior mini motos, as Jamie King, of course, tries to push the bike into a safe position. The battle I'd suggest having a look out for is actually for 5th place between William Birkin and Ryan Grant. Is that Grant going up the inside, coming to turn 4, the left-hander?
That's I think they're negotiating some lap traffic at the moment. That is. But yes, Andy Whedon, like you say, inherits the lead, having two people from podium positions. Unfortunately, drop out of those podium positions,
including our race leader. So over the line they come on lap 3, and Mark Payne has now set a new fastest lap with 52.473. That was almost a clear second quicker than Andy Whedon. The gap now 1.676.
Interesting fight for second position, Dan. Sorry to interrupt, but Bainbridge and Payne. And it looked like Payne was a little unsteady coming out of that first turn, but he's managed to, it looks like, perhaps keep second position so far.
And they're also fighting very well to try and catch back up to Andy Whedon in the lead, obviously, of course, coming through the second of the left-handers up towards turn number 7 and 8. And as you say, it's ebbing and flowing. Ryan Grant's now up into 5th position, 6th place for William Birkin. Ross Michael now up into 9th place, of course, after that mishap for Jamie King. And 1.2 seconds now is the gap between Mark Payne and Andy Whedon for the race lead. Ryan Grant just setting the fastest lap of 52.1 at 5.2. The battle for 3rd place, however, is looking very close indeed. Only 0.333 of a second between Payne, between Bainbridge and Data. So as they make their way up to turn 3, it looks like a late move could be being made there. Also battle for the race lead as well. It's through Mark Payne. Yes, Mark Payne goes through the left-hander. The first of the left-handers at turn 4. By turn 5, he's got the inside line. He takes a position. Andy Whedon trying to keep his wheel up the inside. They go side by side through turn number 7. He takes a position back, although is he going to try around the outside? Almost does it, coming into the right-hander. They remain side by side. The cutbacks worked. An absolute beauty for Mark Payne, who's going to cross the line, and it's a three-way battle for the lead. All of a sudden, it is Whedon, Payne and Bainbridge. Very tight stuff indeed.
Fantastic scrap, yes, three-way fight as Dan's saying, and that does continue. And having had a slightly comfortable lead, having inherited the lead, Andy Whedon now seemingly down to 2nd place.
Indeed, so as they come through turn 4 and 5 once more, we've only got 3 laps left to go, would you believe? 5 laps completed, 3 laps left to run. Ryan Grant with the fastest lap again on that last one, 51.961, to try and promote himself up into 3rd place. So everything is changing with every single lap. It's a great battle for the lead. It's a great battle for 3rd place between Bainbridge, Grant and Data. Up towards turn number 8 they come, and even further behind in 8th and it's 7th and 8th over the line. 0.766 of a second for Andy Whedon. Mark Payne now in 2nd. Ryan Grant, though, up into 3rd place ahead of Justin Bainbridge, who must have made the position on that last lap. Coming through turn number 3 and coming through turn number 4 now, which is, of course, the right-handers immediately preceding the left-hander, the tight left-hander, the first of the hairpins. Very twisty infield section here at Tattershall. It's really testing a rider's mettle as they come through the second of the hairpins at turn number 6. Coming through obviously turn 7, the long left-hander before the right-hander at turn 8. Yellow flag at turn 8 as a rider not down, just waiting for the traffic to come through. Over the line they come once more. Just 2 laps, 1 lap left to run, of course. And Andy Whedon does look like he is in 2nd place. Mark Payne down to 3rd. 4th place for Justin Bainbridge, who has got past Ryan Grant once again. So this is going to mean a lot coming through these for the final time. Meanwhile, over the line, Paul Nicholls has made his way back up to 6th place. William Birkin and Chris Yeomans are much down beyond there as well. But for 6th and 7th place, really, is an absolutely fascinating contest. We make our way now with just half a lap left to run, and it looks very comfortable for that man out front. And as we see, it is going to be an interesting one. Up towards the line just for the final time. Over the line they come. The checkered flag is prepared. A little bubble. And of course there they go. That is our race finish. Andy Whedon takes 1st place according to our timing screens, although he was 2nd on the road. So of course they come back in once again. So it will be Andy Whedon ahead of Mark Payne, Justin Bainbridge, Ryan Grant, Josh Data, Paul Nicholls, William Birkin, Chris Yeomans, with Ross Michael to come over the line now as well. They head back into the pit lane, and another great race for the senior mini motos. And we've got another one to come up later on. But out next, though, is the junior LC40s for the first time.
Thank you very much, Dan Marr. And yes, anybody who's in the, for example, the hospitality area where I believe they have live timing, they did yesterday, or anyone with the live timing app or watching live timing online will be able to see exactly the same information that our commentators can see as well. So, fascinating fight for the senior mini motos, and we've got another race straight away. Epic stuff here at Tattershall for round 4 of the 2017 Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship.
We're now the official partner series to the BSB. This is Cool Fab Racing. Original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing.
We are live all afternoon with live radio coverage from Tattershall. It's round 4 in the championship, and we're well into the action already. And what action it has been! We are live on Facebook right now, streaming with a modest camera, which complements our live radio stream. And you'll be able to see a whole chunk of the track, at least the entire last sector, the middle sector as well. And it's
a good half a lap.
Yeah, we can see exactly what's on screen as well. Do check that out, and if you like it, give us a share as well, and give us a nice little shout out and show us where you are, who you are supporting. A big hello to Cindy Tanner and Jenny Darter and Rachel Owen, who are all tuned in live right now to our stream. And a big hello to everybody who's trackside as well. Dan Marr is our commentator for the second race.
And it is the junior LC40s. He knew that.
I knew that.
Anyway, so whilst Leicester goes to remember things, I will quickly go through the grid. Another 8-lap contest as we are about to go onto the green flag lap. Casey O'Gorman and Evan Belford will be starting on the front row of the grid, with Ollie Walker and Amuel Brinton in 3rd and 4th. 5th will be Ross Maguire. 6th, Josh Bannister. Taylor Lawrence and Ryan Hitchcock will line up on row 4. Row 5, Declan Connell and Bailey Stewart Campbell. Row 6 is James Cook and Johnny Garnus, I believe. 7th is Mason Foster and Jack Kirch. 8th is Troy Jeffrey and Sunny Horn. Taylor Stewart Campbell and Evan Pendrell are on row 9. Row 10, Elliot Dufton, as we go on to the green flag lap. Another 8-lap fantastic contest we are waiting for, of course. For those of you who are looking forward to our action next, we are running about 15 minutes early at this point, but the Pit Bike 140s and Moto teams are due out directly after these, then the Mini GP70s, the Pit Bike Opens, the AC40 Pros and the Sidecars, which will then bring us up to lunch. And for those who are interested in the earlier races, our next AC40 rookie races at 13:45, 2 o'clock for the Mini GP50s, the 2:20 for the senior mini motos, and these will go back out at 14:55. But for now, this is the second race of the weekend for these guys, also known as the first race for them today. 2 races for each class today, and as we make our way up to the line, can anyone beat Casey O'Gorman? I'm not sure, Lester. What about you? What do you say?
I'm not going to make any predictions, because I'll immediately sound even more foolish than I regularly do. But I would say let's just enjoy this fantastic race that's about to transpire. I'm not saying any more than that.
Okay, non-committal as ever. So as we make our way up to the start line, and we get underway in just a few moments' time, the marshals moving away from their positions on the grid and just getting out of the way for the riders to get through. Last minute chats to some of the riders, including number 35, which is Evan Pendrell, who is of course starting in 18th position, so second last at the moment. Everything ready though. We are getting a few words from the back of the grid, a few words from the marshals. So I'm not entirely sure. I think we're getting the all clear. Yeah, green flag is being ready then, so we're getting the all clear to go racing. Flag goes up, long hold drops the flag. There we go, a decent start by Casey O'Gorman there, which should ensure he takes the lead coming through turn 1 for the first time. Evan Belford will be directly behind him, so it's a repeat of earlier on action, but it looks like we've all got away cleanly through the first couple of corners. Coming through turn 3 and 4 for the first time, Leicester, and it's a great start there for Casey.
It certainly is, and looking like everybody is, like you say, so far keeping things on track at the moment, Dan.
And of course there's a good little battle for second place already enveloping between Evan Belford and I'm going to presume quite dangerously that it's Ollie Walker in third place. He did start third on the grid, so as they come over the line for the first time out of 8, Casey O'Gorman in the lead ahead of Evan Belford, and Ross Maguire in fact in third place. Ollie Walker down in 4th, 5th Amwell Brinson, Josh Bannister in 6th, 7th is Taylor Lawrence, 8th is Declan Connell, 9th Bailey Stewart Campbell, 10th is Ryan Hitchcock, 11th is James Cook, Stanley Horn in 12th, 13th for Troy Jeffrey, 14th for Johnny Garnis. And Leicester has a thought.
Epic scrap for second place between Evan and Ross happening at the moment, and that's all giving Casey a chance to spread his wings and fly off into the distance,
as we see so many times here this weekend. And as they come through turn number 7 and 8 now, of course Evan Belford still in the second position for now, although that could change. Looks like they're going to go try and have a look side by side over the start finish line. They come now
down the line,
just 0.140. So is he going to make a move at the inside coming into turn 1?
He's looking at that,
tries it, doesn't in the end though. Wouldn't do it successfully, I don't think. Taylor Lawrence moving up into 6th ahead of Josh Bannister, but Casey O'Gorman has checked out 1.206 seconds of 48.8, at least 0.3 quicker than everyone else out on circuit. Coming up towards turn number 4 though, around the outside, Ross Maguire gives it a thought, can't quite do it at the left-hander. Into the right-hander is the next one, but he is not close enough to make a move. You've got to really be able to just throw these bikes up the inside to make a good move. You can see they're such small bikes, so you've just got to really be that committed. Turn 8 could be the place he makes it. He's on the coattails, he goes side by side, and through goes Ross Maguire at turn number 8. But they are going to go side by side. In fact, yes they do.
Ooh.
Just noses ahead. My goodness me, the understeer that Evan got there, he just kept it in. You got to think, these guys got to be some kind of, just... You've got to have commitment there, haven't you?
Wow, that was epic stuff around the final corner. That was as close as you can probably get to not staying on track.
And he almost didn't. He ran briefly on the grass in order to take the position, but he has dropped back now, Evan. So Ross Maguire up into second place. A great committed move there from Evan, who desperately tried to keep hold of the position coming through the final corner on lap 2. So 6 laps left to run. 1.7 seconds was the gap between Evan and Casey on that last lap. But what's the gap going to be between Casey and Ross Maguire on this one? Well, it's 1.933, 58.7 or 48.5 there for Casey, 48.6 for Ross Maguire. He's not too far off, and with a little bit of luck he could well close in. Meanwhile, Declan Connell now into 6th place, Taylor Lawrence down to 7th, Mason Foster and Taylor Stewart Campbell up into 15th and 16th, Jack Kurtz dropping back just a little bit, Evan Pendrell still in 18th position.
Well, 5 laps to go already, and we are not seeing a walkover by Casey O'Gorman just yet. A long way still to go, a handful of laps, and Casey has a gap of he's coming over the line at the moment. Dan, let's see what the lead is at the moment. It's 1.9 seconds. He's just put it out half a second. It's now 2.4 seconds from Ross Maguire and Evan Belford.
It is absolutely fantastic stuff. The battle for, I'm looking at the battle really from 5th through to 10th really, because it's looking very tight indeed. There's someone having a move at the inside. Johnny Garnes has made his move on Sandy Horn, so he is now up into 12th place, and I suspect he might have made another move somewhere around the back of the circuit as well, so we will find that out in just a moment's time.
And handbags at, I think that was turn 4, with a rider getting almost nudged out rather rudely, but didn't quite see who that was. But no harm done. He continues either way.
Over the line they go once again. Lap 5, so 3 laps left to run. Almost 3 seconds between Casey O'Gorman and Ross Maguire. Looks like the battle for the top 4 settled, but meanwhile...
and down!
Who's
at
gone
turn
down?
1, is
Someone's
that?
gone down at turn 1, I suspect.
We're waiting
coming
for
through, I think
confirmation.
that is going to be Evan Belford, who's gone down at turn 1. Back up and moving, gets underway, but that is going to be critical. He's going to be so angry on that bike, and he's just not having much luck today, is poor Evan, is he?
Back up and okay, and back in the race, of course. That is the biggest thing for him. He was straight up, and I can't quite see which position he's dropped that down to, but he is well in the pack and off the podium, unfortunately, and that gives Casey O'Gorman, well, he's having all the luck today as well as all the speed, isn't he?
Oh yes, certainly, and that means that it will be Ollie Walker promoted up to 3rd. Declan Connell and Taylor Lawrence did get ahead of Emmanuel Brinton for 5th and 6th on that lap, because they'll move up because of what happened, and of course now it's an interesting one as Emmanuel Brinton has now got past Taylor Lawrence again, so the battle for 4th place looking incredibly close in these last 2 laps. Let's keep an eye out for the battle for 4th place, because this is going to be the tightest one. Up towards turn number 3 and 4 they go.
A 3-bike scrap for 4th place, as you say, Dan, and it's incredibly close. You can't really call this one. You just got to keep your eye on it, and that is what we are doing, as you can probably see if you're watching on Facebook, our visual radio feed.
But of course, for those who are listening at home, side by side for 4th place, desperately wanted there by Declan Connell and Emmanuel Brinton, must have woken up and thought, I need this position. Up towards the line they come. Who's it going to be ahead? It is Declan Connell ahead of Emmanuel Brinton. Brinton's going to have a bit of a look at the inside into turn 1. Declan Connell does defend it very nicely indeed, though. They're almost side by side. In fact, Taylor Lawrence is going to make the best of this. He's got 2 bikes ahead of him, and you can see he's sniffing a move up the inside at turn number 3 with 1 lap left to run. Casey O'Gorman, 3.8 seconds is going to be the gap, but it is the battle for 4th place, as you say. Very tight indeed to turn 4 and 5. Can Emmanuel Brinton make the move? As we got a yellow flag up at turn 8.
There's someone down in the midfield and didn't quite see
underway again, though.
Yeah, they've got up and going
and
again.
And Casey O'Gorman has taken the checkered flag. He wins the race ahead of Ross Maguire by 4.041 seconds. Meanwhile, the battle for 4th coming up towards the line now. It's going to be very tight, but I think Emmanuel Brinton's going to briefly take it. A great run up the line. In fact, no, it was Declan Connell. Declan Connell took it from Emmanuel Brinton by 62 thousandths of a second. 4th and 5th. 6th place will be Taylor Lawrence. Ryan Hitchcock was 7th. 8th is Bailey Stewart Campbell. Josh Bannister in 9th. 10th is James Cook. 11th is Johnny Garnes. Evan Belford 12th. 13th is Sandy Horn. Troy Jeffrey was in 14th. 15th for Mason Foster. Jack Kirch will come through in 16th. 17th for Evan Pendrell. Taylor Stewart Campbell, I think, could have been the one that went down in 18th place, and Elliot Dufton, of course, only completed the 1 lap, and that is the end of the Junior LC40 race. And of course, up next will be the PB 140 Moto Team race, and that's going to be another spectacular one if yesterday's race was anything to go by, Leicester.
We're now the official partner series to the BSB. This is Cool Fab Racing.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready? And begin.
Back out on track here at Tattershall in a sunny, hot, nice, warm, sunny and summery, unexpectedly warm, I would say, given that it is Britain in the summer. It's not exactly what you expect, warm weather, but still out on track right now for about to start, go to the grid for the second race of the weekend for the Pit Bike 140 and Moto Team categories. And a big hello to everybody tuned in, or who is not here at the track, or maybe who is here at the track and just wants to watch what's going on from our vantage point here at the commentary, including Lisa Tilley, May Burns, and everybody who's tuned in, including Olivia Jeffs, Reese Boyd, Ziggy Archer, and
are you just listing people who have
Jordan just listing friends who are part of the Facebook live stream as well. So Dan Marr is the expert commentator, and Roger Keys doing an amazing job being race director and timekeeper, checkered flag waver, and all-round legend really, and also sender of
the
papers of printouts, so we have them and we know what we're talking about. So thank you, a huge thank you to the entire Keys family, Rob Keys, who starts every race this weekend, and Dan Marr, who's calling the race here with one person realising he should be on the other side of the track.
Well, anyway, yep, thank you very much. We're running about 15 minutes early, so the PB140s are now at 11:30, so everything's being pushed forward a bit. And, of course, the PB140s and Moto Team, as we go to the green flag lap, 2 classes here, so we will see Jamie King and Sam Clowes. Of course, Sam Clowes will be starting on pole position on the front row. Row 2 will be Alex Vella and Ian Jackson, Simon Clowes, and Darren Anderson on row 3. Row 4 is Fraser Kinnaird and Cameron Hall. Row 5 is Neil Kinnaird and Keith Bolton. There were those issues yesterday, let's hope they're rectified. Brandon Perrell and Tommy Phillip on row 6. Row 7 is Alistair Kinnaird and Leo Smith. Row 8, and on the last row of the grid, is Howard Taylor and Michael Elms. But I'm having a bit of a look, and we're telling us we've only got 15 out of 16 on the timing screen, so what we'll do is we'll let you know if we can't see someone, basically. And yes, let's go.
Quick reminder as well for everybody, just a reminder, we're not suggesting that you wouldn't, of course, do this, but do fit your transponders correctly as well. Make sure they are working and on as well, just so we can tell that you're on track and such.
Yep, just so we know that you're there and we can call you accurately. Like we had a bit of a throw yesterday in a couple of the races, but that's not our problem. It's not our fault. We can't do that. But anyway, there's 2 classes, 10 laps in store for this race, the first race of the day for them. And we will go into the more details about the differences of the classes during the race. But for now, we just keep our eye on the start line marshal as the red flag up to get everyone into position. Very quickly going to go into the racing. About to get the green flag up and ready. And green flag is about to go in the air. Up it goes. Long hold. Very long hold. Drops the flag now. And that's not a great start there from Sam Clowes. Jamie King might try and take it around the outside coming into the first corner for the first time, and someone's down. We've had someone down, and in fact he's 2 or 3 people I believe are down. Up. Throw the fist in the air. They're not particularly pleased, but they get going nonetheless. Very unhappy indeed, and that's thrown an absolute spanner in the works up towards turn 4 for the first time, and Alex Vella therefore has once again taken the lead. He I believe he won yesterday, didn't he? So doing very well this weekend so far, through turns 5 and 6 and up towards turn 7, which is a very long left-hander which proceeds to the tighter right-hander which almost bookends our lap, and there's a big gap between these guys as well. of course, are two classes for the Moto team and the PB140s. The PB140s, obviously the pit bikes, the big ones, which sees Alex Vella, Ian Jackson and Cameron Hall in the lead, and then there's a big battle going on between of course 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Really, it was a big gaggle. Fraser Kinnaird in 4th, the first of our Moto team guides. You can tell the differences. The pit bike 140s are pit bikes, and the Moto teams look more like the Grand Prix bikes we saw just a few moments ago. And so coming up towards turns 4 now, Alex Vella did have 1.7 seconds on Ian Jackson. Ian Jackson though had only 76 thousandths on Cameron Hall. Cameron Hall, who is having a desperate look up the inside on bike number 80 through turn number 8 they go now. And there's Simon Clowes and Michael Ems, who I believe was involved in that start line incident, so both Moto team riders. Alex Vella through and away. Cameron Hall back up to 2nd place. 3rd place now for Ian Jackson. Sam Clowes in 4th, 5th for Darren Anderson. Fraser Kinnaird drop backs into 6th, so it's PB140s top 4, and then Moto team 5th, 6th and 7th and 8th.
Close fight for 2nd position, closer than ever before, and it is Cam Hall, Jackson and Clowes scrapping it out with it looks like Darren Anderson.
And there was a bit of contact there.
Yeah, just as I was saying that, they are literally fighting it out on track. Who's going to come out ahead? We'll have to wait and see, but this is the fight to watch right now.
Exactly. So coming up towards turn number 8, then the right-hander, and you can see that whilst Cameron Hall did get a good start and in fact made it through, he's having to defend quite heavily. You can see also the change for, I believe that's going to be 5th place. Dropping down is Ian Jackson. Darren Anderson's going to have a look up the inside coming into turn 1. Not quite, chooses not to. Therefore, Sam Clowes up into 3rd place. Fastest lap on that last one by Alex Vella, 49.463. That's over a second and a half quicker than Cameron Hall. The gap now, after 2 laps, so with 8 laps left to run, 4.654 seconds. Safe to say, Alex is very confident on these bikes today, isn't he?
Yeah, he's keeping things well under wraps, I would say, for now anyway. 4.6 seconds is the lead to 2nd place Cam Hall, and even he's seemingly, I don't want to jinx anything, but seemingly is looking comfortable in 2nd at the moment, is all I'm going to say. Be super careful not to jinx anyone.
And Sam Clowes has now made it through on Cameron Hall for 2nd place. So the number 31 now ahead of the number 80.
Oh, and down
has gone someone. We can't see who that is.
From a podium position.
And I can't identify the number. The number 7 went around him, so it could either be Cameron Hall or Sam Clowes. Let's do this scientifically. They come up towards turn number 4 now. Can we see the number? And that's number 80. So it could be number 31, which is Sam Clowes, who went down, up and back riding, of course. But nonetheless, this means the battle for 2nd place has changed again. It's 3 bikes rather for 2nd place, almost side by side coming through turn number 7 and 8. And the right-hander, and through the long right-hander at turn number 9, the final corner, which brings us onto the start-finish line. And with 4 laps completed and 6 laps left to run, Cameron Hall up to 2nd. 3rd place is now Ian Jackson, who is 0.427 of a second behind. Doesn't really look like that on paper though, does it? There is someone intermingling in all of this, and I've got a funny feeling it could be, well, I can't really see, but we'll have to wait and see as they come over the line now. Also a change, Jamie King moving up very quickly through the field on 76 and now into 7th place. As we look at the battle for 2nd place once again, we can see it's looking up the inside, Cameron Hall, but Ian Jackson is down a few places. I think Darren Anderson has made his way through as well. In fact, no, it isn't Darren Anderson. It's someone anonymous, I believe.
It's a fantastic scrap is what it is, and people at the track and people watching on Facebook Live can see certainly what's happening, and an even more fascinating fight in the pack just behind them as well.
Indeed. So up towards turns 2 and 3 they go. 5's out completed, 5 laps left to run. Through the left and the right are turns number 2 and 3. Before we head to 4, the first of the left-handed hairpins. This is a much tighter one. A few bumps on the road. These pit bikes can handle them very well. You can see there's a lot of confidence, very quick around here. Through turn 5, the right-hander before the next left-hander at turn number 6 through turn 7, of course, is the long one. And of course, side by side there between Jackson and Hull once again.
Someone's down.
Someone's down.
Had an incident.
That
Can't see
is
what number
83. That is 83. So Neil Kinnaird on the moto
Kinnaird,
team. He was
and,
4th in class, but will now drop back some positions. Yellow flags at turn number 4. Does get going though, so good to see he's back out there. And Jamie King has now made his way up into 4th place on this green, or 5th place. So yeah, Jamie King's making a lot of progress. So the pit bikes quicker than the moto team bikes, and it's very good to see what's going on here so far. 4 laps left to run, 9.9 seconds between Vella and Hull. It's an insurmountable gap, I suggest, isn't it? So a quick update on what's happening in moto team. Of course, led so far by Darren Anderson in 5th place, 1st in class. Fraser Kinnaird in 7th is 2nd in moto team. 3rd now is Keith Bolton, who's running much cleaner than he was yesterday. Then it is Simon Clowes, Alistair Kinnaird and Neil Kinnaird. So an interesting one. Ian Jackson's gone through on Cameron Hall though. So Ian Jackson pushing as far as he can to get another position on the podium. And as you say, it's all looking rather tasty, Lester, wouldn't you suggest?
It certainly is, yeah. What I'm sort of anticipating a mad last couple of laps. There's action and passing on the outside of hairpins happening. Didn't see exactly. I didn't identify who that was, but yeah, it's Alex Vella out in front and seemingly doing well.
Of course, he's doing very well. He almost had an 11-second lead on that last lap. He did encounter some traffic though with 2 laps left to run. Got past Neil Kinnaird to lap him. 9.893, so the gap has come down a few seconds. Jamie King's just set a new fastest lap in 4th place, 49.400, 2 seconds quicker than Cameron Hall, who is now only 1.788 behind, so that could be a change for 3rd place in just a few moments time.
And it seems to have, dare I say it, settled down a little bit in what was a fantastic scrap for 2nd place, but it fight could be on for maybe 3rd here.
In fact, it could be even closer, I suspect, maybe coming on later on in the race. Alex Vella going through again, got the last lap flag, so just 1 lap left to complete for him. And over the line now, we are waiting for our next 2 couple of people.
The gap is down.
Gap is down, but Jamie King is just behind. But is he going to look up the inside coming into turn 1 on the last lap? Yes, he does. He is through in the braking zone at turn 1, but he runs very deep indeed. So there we go. Curse the commentator, because as soon as I say, yeah, he's through and he's done it perfectly fine, he loses out another position. He's going to get the bit between his teeth. Move up the inside coming into turn 3. Not going to be possible. Late lunge up the inside into turn number 4. Yes, he does. Can he get his stop this time? Yes, he can. So he does take 3rd place on this last lap. Can he keep it? It is going to be Alex Vella who comes through to take the checker flag in just a moment's time. And checker flag waves for Alex Vella, who takes another victory up on the bike. But who is it going to be for 3rd place? 2nd place will be Ian Jackson. Over the line now, and it is Jamie King who does take it on the end by 0.7 of a second ahead of Cameron Hall and Sam Clowes. Top 5 being your PB140, your pit bike leaders. Of course, waiting as Fraser Kinnaird comes over the line now in the first of the moto team entries, ahead of Darren Anderson. So Fraser Kinnaird at the very end got the result ahead of Darren Anderson and Keith Bolton, your top 3. Brandon Perrell will come over the line 9th in PB140, 10th place Simon Clowes in the moto team bike. Leo Smith 11th for PB140, and Alistair Kinnaird, Brady Toomer and Neil Kinnaird to round out the top 14 here. So there we go, another great race here. Up next will be the Mini GP70s. We saw the slightly smaller ones earlier, but it's going to be an even better race, I suspect, in this next one.
Sure will, and we will be back live for that here on coolfabracing.com. Check us out, live radio coverage all weekend long, and we will continue next.
The original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing. This is the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship, the official partner series to the BSB.
And we continue some more fantastic, epic action with the Mini GP70s. My name is Lester. Dan Marr making his Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship debut this weekend. He's brand new to the championship and just filling in for our usual commentator Alex Raby, who's unfortunately taken ill this weekend, and we wish him to get back and get better very soon so he can rejoin the action that we all love as well. And this next Mini GP70 race, if it was anything at all anywhere as good as the first race yesterday that was filmed and that you will watch on YouTube, I'm sure, then we're in for a bit of a treat, Dan.
We are indeed. Thank you, Lester. The bikes heading up onto the grid for the Mini GP70s, and Joshua Watsley will take pole position ahead of Jay Abel, so 70 starting ahead of 303. Harvey Claridge and Brodie Crockford will be starting on row 2, so 16 and 55 row 2. 127 and 35, so Callum Beach and Jeremy Knight are on row 3. Louis Rendell and Oscar Pinson on row 4, 101 and 94. 12 and 130, so Luke Coggins and Owen Mellor on row 5 and row 6. Jaden Toomer and Elliot Dufton. This will be a 12-lap race. Onto the green flag lap we go, and just getting that last minute temperature into the tyres and just making sure everyone is ready to race. It's going to be a fantastic encounter, and with just a moment left until the start of the race. Lester, any predictions for this one?
No.
Okay,
I am not. I'm not doing. No.
No. Okay.
No, basically.
Yeah, that works.
We had Kiko Alexander Giles in the commentary box yesterday, and I have an absolutely classic commentating clip. A total Murray moment, a commentating gaffe. It was his commentary debut. I shouldn't really rub it in, but he takes it in light-hearted jest, and I think you will be seeing that later this week on the Cool Fab Racing Facebook page, because it's brilliant.
It's very funny. Where I had to stop myself laughing in the commentary box because it was just quite amusing. It's ironic when these things happen. But we are ready to go racing here for the Mini GP70. First race of the day. So the flagman walks back to his position, about to pick up the green flag. And as we get ready, revs are ready for a start. The green flag is in the start marshal's hands. It'll go up, then it'll go down. Up goes the flag. Drop it and let's go. That's a big wheelie then for our pole position man, Joshua Watley. Could that inhibit his progress on the start of the race? In fact, it looks like it has. Could that be Jay Abel who's made the position? I have a sneaking suspicion it did. Just that start got bogged down for poor old Joshua. He is going to try and fight back as they come through the right-hander at turn 3 for the first time. But crucially, he is now down into second place, although it looks like he did manage to regain it. So despite that poor start, has regained it nonetheless. Meanwhile, that is Harvey Claridge up the inside of Brodie Crockford, coming through turn number 7 and 8 for the first lap out of 12. So over the line, we've had a high side there. I couldn't see who that was. The rider is back up. That looked to be a fairly heavy impact, although he is up and walking. So
that is good.
As they come over the line, I believe that was Jeremy Knight is the one who's not come through. So Jeremy is up and moving, sat on the barrier. Yellow flag's about to turn number 8, but it is Joshua Watley who was in the lead after that poor start. He did manage to keep it in though, ahead of Jay Abel, Harvey Claridge, Brodie Crockford, Callum Beach, Louis Rendell, Oscar Pinson, Owen Mellor, Luke Coggins, Elliot Dufton, Jaden Toomer and Jeremy Knight coming through the second lap. And Lester Forbes, what have you got to say?
Still yellow flags down by the furthest end of the circuit, so obviously no overtaking there, while the rider who went down is now still up, and Josh Watley, fastest lap of the race, such a demon at the moment, and let's see if he'll be able to stay out in front and even perhaps extend his gap from the chasing pack of Jay Abel and Harvey Claridge.
There's a great battle going on for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th at the moment. Of course, Oscar Pinson moving up to 2nd in that battle, which means he's in 6th place. Obviously what has happened there is Louis Rendell's dropped back. Owen Mellor in 8th now for bikes for that battle. Also the battle for third place between Brodie Crockford and Harvey Claridge looking intense as ever. Meanwhile, turn number 5 and turn number 6 around the outside goes Owen Mellor, I believe that is, on the ePay Me bike. 94 Oscar Pinson, that lovely gold coloured bike as well. So as they come over the line for lap 10 out, 10 laps left to go, second lap, Joshua Watley 46.7, he's 1.7 seconds clear of Jay Abel. Oscar Pinson now up into 5th place, so he's moved ahead of that battle. Can he clear the rest of the field, Lester?
Yeah, absolutely stunning stability, I would say, from these riders so far. Preface everything I say by saying so far, because things could change at a moment's notice, usually instantly after I've said it as well. Jay Abel doing pretty well at the moment. Seems to be, it looks like, was it Brodie Crockford?
Yes, he's been fighting with Harvey Claridge for the entirety of the race.
And he's just on the back of Harvey Claridge, looking pretty quick as well.
It is indeed coming up towards the line once again. It's not a battle for 5th, it's a battle for 6th, and Louis Randall has taken it. Could, though, Callum Beach have a look up the inside into turn 1? Nope, doesn't decide not to. What we did have was a great scrap throughout the entirety of the field, so it doesn't matter whether we've not got 30 bikes on this circuit. It's only a kilometre long circuit, and we've got plenty of action out there for the second of the mini GP70 races of the weekend. 3 laps completed, 9 laps left to run, and someone, I'm being pointed at something, and it's a great battle for third place still between Harvey Claridge and Brodie Crockford. No matter what Brodie's doing, Harvey is just managing somehow to keep it in third place, even though Brodie's going to have a great run. Cheeky look at the inside into turn 1. I don't think it's really serious. It's just to put a bit of a niggle in the mind of Harvey. Go on, Lester.
Yeah, it was a fantastic. I suppose it was a speculative, perhaps, move by Brodie Crockford, not able to pull the position off. He is trying again, though. This tight, twisty infield section seeming to be a strong point for Brodie Crockford. Harvey Claridge trying to defend all he possibly can, or perhaps even make his way towards Jay Abel, who's in second at the moment, and all of them falling back behind Josh Watley.
And he does seem to be, Jay has just seemed to sort of drop back over the last couple of laps, so the battle for third is now the battle for second. They've all sort of concatenated together as they come over the line. 3 under a second there. Last lap, 3.5 seconds the gap between Josh Watley and Jay Abel. 46.339. A great fastest lap from Joshua Watley, and just a great performance so far. We're not quite at the half distance so far, but look at that. Brodie Crockford is trying to go around the outside coming to turn 3. Turn 4, the left-hander can't quite make it through. He had a very big look coming around the outside of turn 3. The right-hander, rider's left-hand side, was a up the inside nonetheless. Good attempt, but coming into turn 8 and turn 9, a little bit of a deep run through there, which means coming through the long right-hander at turn number 9. It's quite an interesting battle still between 303, 16 and 55. Turn 1, a great opportunity to try and make a move, not if you're not close enough. Turns 2 and 3 as Brodie Crockford getting every inch of the circuit. He's trying to make a move. Someone else trying to make a move at the inside is Louis Randall coming into turn 1 for 6th place. They go side by side, and in fact Louis has gone through on Oscar Pinson. So Louis Randall now up into 5th place at the expense of 94, who had that great start at the half distance, but again seems to be wearing off just a little bit.
And sorry to cut in, but it is Brodie Crockford who's through into 3rd place now.
Brodie, yep, fantastic move by Brodie, who got a great exit on the exit of turn number 6, the second of the left-handed hairpins through the long left-hander, who just got a great run. That was enough, and it gave him the position. He is now into 3rd position, and it looks like he's really wanting to fight for 2nd place as well through turns 2 and 3. And of course Jay Abel in this 2nd place, he's unable to shake these guys off. And of course a bright yellow bike behind you, you're going to notice that at the half distance, aren't you?
And he's seemingly Crockford's trying, this is his strong point in the midfield, but he's trying to be patient as well, because Jay Abel is certainly not making it easy for Crockford, who's trying. This is his power, his strong point of the circuit. It's where he made his previous moves as well, and he's looking like he's going to have another go at Abel, but Claridge says, hang on a minute, I'm still in this race as well for second.
Yep, indeed. Thank you, Lester. And as we are on lap 8 out of 12, so 4 laps left to run, Joshua Watley 5.1 seconds now, the gap between himself and Jay Abel as they come up towards the turns 2 and 3. And through turn 3, the long right-hander they go now. It's an interesting one because it looks like, as you say, the faster corners do seem to suit Harvey Claridge much more in his riding style, but the twisty stuff and Brodie Crockford cannot make a move at all. He is trying everyone. He's going to try and have a look at the inside coming into turn 6. Can the cutback work on turn 7? He almost made it through, and whilst he tried, he didn't quite get it through. Also, Joshua Watley encountered traffic coming through the final couple of corners. Up towards the line once again though. And this battle for second place just isn't changing. But sneaky moves up the inside. I never know whether Brodie's trying to defend or he's trying to make a move on Jay Abel. Either way, he's in that rather tricky position. Meanwhile, something I do want to look at actually is the battle for 7th place. We've had Louis Rendell come through. He's got 2.5 seconds on... obviously on Oscar Vincent.
Trying to make a move.
And in
down
fact,
the
he goes
inside.
through. He goes through. Fantastic move there for Brodie Crockford. Sorry to interrupt you there, Lester. But as you say, just a late gas drive.
And they've got traffic.
And this is not going to play into his hand at all. He's got 446 Elliot Dufton in front of him. And as they make their way around it, look at that. He's got held up. So obviously, Brodie's going to be laughing behind his visor because just encountering traffic at turn number 7, which is quite a difficult one to get past. And it's just it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. He just struggled to get through, couldn't quite do it. And now Brodie Crockford, second place. Jay Abel, 0.664 of a second behind. Going to close in a little bit with just 2 laps left to run. Is he going to have time to make a move?
That is the big question, certainly, and it is Crockford in the position that he wanted most as well, P2 at the moment.
And of course, Jaden Toom has now got past Elliot Dufton now as well, so Jaden up into 10th place. We'll run through the order at the checker flag, which is not long now. The final lap flag is being given to our race leader, Joshua Watley, number 70. Fantastic display from him, but it's going to be a good run here for Brodie Crockford and Jay Abel. Jay Abel's going to look up the inside coming into the hairpin at turn number 1. What can he do? He's right behind him, pulling up towards turn number 2 and 3.
Somebody stopped.
And that's our 4th place man. That's Harvey Claridge, who's gone off at turn number 1. Oh my goodness me, what a shame for him. This has really upset him, and you can see he's just angry. 16 had 1 lap left to run, but nonetheless, he's into the tyres. He's up and he's fine. But is he going to be able to keep going? I'm not sure whether he is. No, I don't think he is. But it's going to be number 70, Joshua Watley, who takes the checker flag for the second Mini GP70 race of the weekend. Great result for him, but who's going to be second? Is it going to be Brodie Crockford? He is going to take it by a good length or so on Jay Abel. A fantastic battle for the podium. I mean, I know Jay was in second for a long time, but between him and Brodie, a fantastic battle and well worth of a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to our top 3 in that race. A great display. Louis Rendell comes over the line now to take 4th place. Oscar Pinson then will take 5th. 6th place will be Callum Beach. 7th place will go to Owen Mellor. 8th place for Luke Coggins. 9th place for Harvey Claridge, who ended up in the tyres at the end there. 10th place, Jaden Toomer. Elliot Dufton was 11th, and Jeremy Knight, of course, went off on the first lap and will be looked at, but was up and walking, so very good to see, and a fantastic display from Mini GP70. Ladies and gentlemen, they will be back on at 15:30, so it's going to be a great one. So if you want to see their final race of the weekend, that's going to be a crazy one for them at 15:30, so don't go anywhere.
Did not disappoint, did it, the GP70s? Wow, yes, and we'll certainly look forward to the third and final race of the GP70s later, but coming up next, out on track, and it's not long till they do, it's the Pit Bike Open.
The original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing. is the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship.
And we are back live from round 4 at Tattershall in Lincolnshire. My name is Lester. Dan Marr, the commentator for this weekend, brilliantly filling in for Alex Raby, our usual man of action who calls these races, is unfortunately ill this weekend. So Dan, myself, and yesterday Kiko Alexander-Giles were doing a solid job, I would say, to fill the commentary void that was left by Alex in his absence. So Pit Bike Open is up next, and thank you very much to everyone who has been tuned in live online at coolfabracing.com and on our Facebook stream as well, which is still up and running, which is good, I would say. So Dan Marr, Pit Bike Open, and call us through the grid.
So, thank you very much, Lester, and thank you for all of your lovely comments on Facebook and Twitter. Please do keep them coming at Cool Fab Racing. Now, let's discuss, as they go on to their green flag lap, who will be starting where on this Pit Bike Open grid. It will be number 70, Charlie Nesbitt, with a working transponder, so we can follow him this time, which is all good. Thank you, Charlie. 49, which is Ryan O'Grady, is due to be starting on second place. The second row will be our number 30, which is Max Cook, and number 213, which is John Ansell. Row 3 is 128, James Rose Senior, and 13, which is Blake Ansell. Row 4 is 14 and 127, so that's Jack Waters, and also 127, which is Craig Walker. Row 5 is 22 and 158, which of course 2022 is Felix Hearn, 158 is Anthony Perrell, and that is our grid as everyone makes their way around the final corners. Do you think Charlie Nesbitt will do it again?
I'm going to sit on the fence, but some epic riders even in this category already. Future stars are current stars of BSB package as well. So we all know the ones to watch. We all know the big names, and let's see them and hear them in action, Dan.
And of course, with the likes of Charlie, we've got international talent as well. So, or the talent racing
and
internationally as well.
Talent.
Exactly. So the flag gets up in just a second. The green flag will be waved, and then it's dropped. Green flag goes up now. Drop the flag, and we are go. Good start by Charlie Nesbitt. That will be enough, I reckon. In fact, yes, it is, as they come through turn 1 for the first time. So Charlie Nesbitt will take the lead of the race, but will it be Ryan O'Grady to take second place? We've got a good little scrap in the midfield after 3 corners as they come up. That is 49, and that is also, I can't identify who that one is, but 49 is obviously Ryan O'Grady, so he's a bit further back than we were expecting, but nonetheless making his way through as quickly as he can up towards the line. So as they come through turn number 8, the second last right-hander through the very long right-hander at turn 9 now, and it is Charlie Nesbitt in the lead ahead of Max Cook, James Rose Senior and John Ansell. Blake Ansell drops back to 5th, Ryan O'Grady up to 6th, Jack Waters up to 7th, Craig Walker, Felix Hearn, Anthony Perrell all losing out positions on this first lap out of 12.
Solid start by the top 3, Nesbitt, Cook and James Rose Senior, and it will be an interesting 12 lap to go in this one. What can Max Cook do in second place? He's got a watching brief on Charlie at the moment, and they're both of them just slightly stretching out from James Rose Senior, who's in 3rd at the moment, or perhaps even falling back into the clutches of John Ansell.
As they come over the line to start, technically lap 2, it will be Charlie Nesbitt, of course, a 45.851, very quick. These are some of the quickest bikes we'll see this weekend. And of course, the way that these guys move the bikes, you can see how physical Charlie Nesbitt has to be with his riding style. He really throws the bike around. He gets the knee out very early than some others. He's very sort of dynamic and aggressive with his style, but it does work brilliantly well. Turning through turn number 60, second of the left-handed hairpins, and he's using every available inch of road in order to get the power down, and that's working so much better for him. Whilst the initial lap was good for Charlie Nesbitt, it was a good gap, but this is going to be a much bigger gap. In fact, now it's almost a second, 0.914, which means that Max Cook is obviously doing very well indeed. James Rose Sr. now 3 seconds behind Max Cook, 2.1 seconds behind James Rose Sr. John Ansell in 4th, 5th for Blake Ansell, Ryan O'Grady still in 6th, 7th is Jack Walters, Craig Walker is in 8th, 9th for Felix Hearn, 10th is still Anthony Perrell. The field quite closely matched. There might not
starting to spread out now a little bit.
Yes, it might be starting to spread out, but you do have to be patient sometimes with these bikes. You can make one little mistake, as we've been seeing through all of the racing this afternoon so far, and one little mistake can really ruin your race. So patience is also an important one. 1.2 seconds is now the gap between Max Cook and Charlie Nesbitt with 9 laps left to run. And Lester, go ahead.
Thank you to people listening saying that these bikes sound brilliant online on the online radio stream as well, and they certainly do. We're streaming in stereo this weekend, and nobody else does that apart from us. Just saying.
Just us. Cool Fab Radio.
Yeah.
Cool Fab Racing Radio. At Cool Fab Racing, if you want to get in touch with us. Of course, you're listening along. I thought, I'd like to say how wonderful the racing is, who I'm supporting, who I'm looking out for. Let us know. Twitter at Cool Fab Racing, Facebook at Cool Fab Racing. So there we go. That's how you get in touch with us. Over the line they come once again. Another fastest lap, this time from Charlie Nesbitt. 1.329. The gap between himself and Max Cook. 45.284 is the gap. And it's getting close for 3rd place between James Rose Sr. and John Ansell. So between 128 and 213, a gap of 0.895, which is the closest gap we've got so far on the road. And you can see as they turn through turn 4 and 5, it's going to turn into a fantastic little battle with 8 laps left to run. 4 laps completed, so a good third of the race completed already. So it's going pretty quickly, isn't it?
Certainly, yes, when you're having fun and enjoying fantastic cool fab racing.
Over the line they come once again, and Charlie Nesbitt, there's a jump just in front of our commentary box, and these bikes do get a good bit of air, but Charlie Nesbitt just clears it by a good 6 or 7 inches. It's fantastic. He doesn't lift off or anything, fully committed, both wheels in the air. That takes a certain type of rider, doesn't it? 1.5 seconds is the gap between himself and Max Cook now, but they are controlling the gap to everyone else, and they're just pushing forward all the time, and the gap's transforming all over the shop, I would say.
Yeah, certainly. It's looking, like I say, the gaps between the bikes at the moment. It's 1.4 seconds, or it was on the previous lap, from Cook to Nesbitt, the race leader at the moment, and it is now still 1.4 seconds. So these lads being very, very consistent in the way they're riding, with Nesbitt just negotiating some of the riders further down the field, and Max Cook going past as well, skillfully with no issues. And James Rose Sr. now 7.5 seconds behind the overall leader, and doing very well, I would say, to everybody holding their positions, and they're literally performing at the very height of their skill, I would say, because that's really how you can sort of tell nobody's seemingly, I don't want to jinx it, but nobody's... No,
touch wood.
Okay, I'll stop that sentence right there in its tracks, but yeah, so Charlie Nesbitt over the line once again, 1.6 seconds. He's just edged the gap by just over 1/10 of a second. Max Cook in second, James Rose Senior in 3rd place. John Ansell remains in 4th, with Blake right behind him, and Ryan O'Grady in 6th place. Thundering over the line, as you can probably hear on our live radio stream, with Jack Walters in 7th, Craig Walker in 8th, Felix Hearn in 9th place, and Anthony Perrell still in 10th place.
So that's your order at the half distance. In fact, we've gone beyond half distance now, 5 laps left to run, and as we make our way ever slowly and ever quickly at the same point towards the end of this race, it's really been Charlie Nesbitt's weekend in the Pit Bike Opens. A new fastest lap from him on that last one. It was a 45.198, a tremendous ride from Charlie, and you've got to hand it to him. He's committed. You can just see you can hear and you can see how much more confident he is in the bike. He's just throwing it around angles which I could scarcely dream of doing, let alone some of these riders who are very talented, up and coming riders, and we've still got some established riders in the field as well, making his way through traffic, coming through turns 5 and 6, through the right and then the left, for the longer left and the shorter right. Very good linguistic
That's easy for you to say, Dan.
It's easy for me to say, which is why I can't say it at all. Anyway, so with 4 laps left to go, and it will soon be 3 laps left to go over the line. And Charlie, fantastic drive. I'm just lost for words really, because it's a fantastic drive from himself, and
it's a good ride as well.
It's a very good ride, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. He's just stretching out the gap. 2.5 seconds now as Max Cook just has his chance to negotiate some of the lapped traffic, and yeah, everybody's looking pretty solid and stable at the moment. There you go, another political punt. Thank you.
Strong and stable. If you get it right, it might be funny. But the issue is, we don't need to talk about politics here, because we got the sun's coming out. The sun has literally just come out for us here, and as you might be able to see on our live online radio web stream camera, that it's all that little bit brighter, and it's lovely to see, isn't it?
It makes everyone feel good, especially when there's great talent out on track riding around that you can certainly hear at the BSB events and all over the world as we slowly tick down towards the final lap.
Just 2 laps left to run here in the second of the Pit Bike Open races this weekend. The first here today, our second Pit Bike Open race, is due to go out at 15:50. Of course, we are running slightly ahead of schedule, so the AC40 Pros, which are due to be out at 12:40, will now be out straight after this race, so they're running a good 15-20 minutes ahead. 25 minutes, and the sidecars due out at 12:55, so just 2 races left to go this morning before we get on to the racing this afternoon, and in fact this afternoon now proper, but we've just got 1 lap left to go, and Charlie Nesbitt 3.759 seconds. This man is on fire. He's going absolutely superbly, and you've got to say that he's pretty much got this wrapped up, hasn't he?
I wouldn't go as far as to say that, just because I don't want to jinx anything, because if I say something like that, then...
Well, Kiko's not here, so I suppose we're not going to have that issue, and thank you very much to...
I will say it's looking very good for him.
Looking very good. Thank you, Kiko, yesterday for giving us that wonderful result, but as they come over the line, and the check flag out then, and Charlie Nesbitt does take it. What's going to be the gap over the line? It is 4.966 seconds, so not letting off at the end then. And Charlie just doing a whole host of wheelies to really show off a fantastic ride from him. Max Cook came over the line in second place. James Rose Sr. took third in the end, ahead of John Ansell and Blake Ansell. Ryan O'Grady due to take 6 as he comes over the line in just a moment. Jack Walters will be 7th, 8th for Craig Walker, 9th Felix Hearn, and Anthony Perrell will take 10th place. A great race there for Pit Bike Open, and out next will be the AC40 Pros.
Do stay tuned for that, and keep your comments and tweets and Facebook messages coming into us here in the commentary box on the opposite side of the track. Yes, we're not based in the inside the paddock this weekend, so if you cheering any riders on, any sons and daughters racing, or you have people here at the track and you're listening at home perhaps, then do send in your messages, as has done a lot of people so far on our live stream as well. And the official place to go for the live radio coverage is coolfabracing.com. Exclusive live coverage, and it's also available on other places as well, including motorsport.radio as well. But coolfabracing.com is the place and your authority for everything Cool Fab Racing.
It is...
Go, go, go!
This is the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. of the original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing.
And we're about to enjoy another fantastic race. This time it's race 2 and the first race of the day for the AC40 Pros. My name is Lester, live online and in the paddock on the PA system. Hello and welcome to this brilliant coverage that is going to be called expertly by Dan Marr.
Thank you very much, Lester. Indeed, just 2 races left to go before the lunch break. The first of which is the AC40 Pros, and we will see Ollie Walker and James Cook on the front row of the grid, with Dylan Mellor and Eddie O'Shea on row 2. Row 3, Ryan Hitchcock and Evan Belford. Row 4, Ross Maguire and Johnny Garnes. Row 5 is Amwell Brinton and Josh Bannister. Row 6 is Mason Foster and Owen Mellor. Row 7 is Taylor Stewart Campbell and Mason Johnson. Row 8 is Sandy Horn and Jack Kirch. Row 9 is Troy Jeffrey and Alexander Merchant. And row 10, the final row of the grid, will go to Cameron Saul and Evan Pendrell. And in fact, we got an 11th row, 146, Max Perry, 21st, and at the very back of the grid. So, there we go. That will be your grid. We're almost going to go onto the green flag lap. Everyone getting ready for the race to get underway. And it's been some fantastic racing this morning, Lester Forbes. And I suppose we're looking for some even more exciting stuff in this one.
Absolutely fantastic racing this morning, as you said. Dan, thank you very much for doing a good job. And I really hope that you've sort of enjoyed your debut with Cool Fab Racing, making your bikes commentary debut as well, and I trust you're certainly enjoying things, and here in the bike paddock as well.
Oh, it's been a brilliant experience. Thank you very much for inviting me along. It's been a great experience to see the passion that goes into preparing these and the passion for the racing, and it's fun at the end of the day. It's serious fun, but it's still fun, and you can tell these kids, and in fact the adults who race these as well, do love doing this, and that they just want more experience in terms of racing, and it will lead on to bigger and better things. Of course, being an official partner series of the BSB means that we've got more potential for young people to go up through the ranks and see them in the British Superbikes and on that package at some point in the near and long-term future, which will be great to see. But we are ready for the start. The riders getting to the grid, everyone just getting into position now, and with this we will have an 8-lap race for these guys. So everyone moving away from the grid. We're going to get underway in just a moment's time. Flag marshal getting into position, the green flag getting ready. The flag will go up any moment now. Up the flag goes now. Longer hold than normal, and there's a jump start by a good few of them.
Oh,
they're being pushed back. A jump start by a good few preempted what was going on, which can sometimes happen when the nerves get to you. And everyone getting back into position. I'm not sure what race control will think of that. Maybe they'll just let it go and just wait for them to get back into position. Green flag's up this time and drops now. That's a decent start by our 2 front row men. Also looked like Dylan Mellor had a great start and looks like he may have squeezed his way up into second place then. So as they come through turns 2 and 3 for the first time, it's all looking rather busy and rather clean, I'd say, at the moment.
Fantastic getaway, everybody, so far around the first turn anyway, getting a nice clean, making their way through cleanly anyway, and Ollie and Dylan out in front, it looks like, but let's see as they come over the line to complete their first lap. Fantastic stuff so far.
Some brilliant racing here.
Yellow flag and rider down as in the middle section of
That's currently at turn number 6. Over the line they come though. James Cook is in the lead of the race. 44 ahead of 48. Dylan Mellor down into 3rd. Eddie O'Shea, Evan Belford, Johnny Garnes, Ross Maguire, Ryan Hitchcock, Owen Mellor, Mason Foster, Taylor Stewart Campbell, your top 11. As the rider who fell was down, carries on. It's Amwell Brinton.
Oh, Emmanuel Brinton.
Emmanuel
he's back
Brinton,
up again.
Back up, in fact, back out there now, just come over the line, so he'll get underway once again. And meanwhile, as the rest of the riders come through, it's turn 5 and 6. The right-hander and then the left-hander once again. And it's looking like a very close contest between James Cook and Ollie Walker as they come up towards turn 8. The tighter right-hander. You can get a very good run if you just stay in the slipstream. You can get a very good run through the final corner, run up to turn 1. He's certainly going to try and do that as they come over the line now. And you can hear the bikes rushing past us. Fastest lap for Eddie O'Shea in third place, who's ahead of Dylan Mellor. So Mellor, who's starting in third, now down into fourth. 50.418 for Eddie O'Shea. And the battle for the lead looking very close indeed. So, meanwhile, up towards turn 4 they go. And James Cook isn't enjoying a particularly big lead. He's being patient in terms of knowing that he doesn't need to defend too hard, else he can lose much more time. There's a big gaggle of bikes. I'd say it's a good 8 bikes in this gaggle for the lead at the moment. Through turn 7 and up towards turn 8. And it just looks like, again, Ollie Walker's taking tighter lines, but it doesn't seem to be paying him dividends. It just seems to be faster for James, like through the long sweeping right-hander. Over the line they go to start lap 3, just 6 laps left to go. And through turn 1 they go. Ollie Walker now back into the lead, so he did do it through the middle part of the lap. So Ollie Walker back into the lead of the race.
Yeah, epic stuff as well, and just being gone down.
Third place, I'm just saying, third place battle is raging on really hard. It was Eddie O'Shea at the time who was in the lead of that battle. But for third place, the last place on the podium, it looks like it has changed. Could it be Dylan Mellor who's gone through? Coming through turn number 6 they go now. As you can see on the live stream screen, it's all rather close. But here trackside, you can see just how close it is. It's good 6 cars in bikes rather. And look, they go side by side through the final corner again. And Eddie O'Shea is Dylan Mellor, in fact, in third place. Fourth place for Eddie O'Shea, Evan Belford, Johnny Garnes, and Ryan Hitchcock with the fastest lap in that group now, 50.398. But it's tenths of a second which is separating these top group of guys. Not seconds, it's tenths.
You can literally not take your eyes off them. This is absolutely fantastic racing here at Cool Fab Racing, and the lead cannot be any closer, as can the pack chasing for third place.
So as you say, through turn number 6 they go now, the left-hander, and the power being applied very nicely indeed. These AC40 Pros, of course, the 40cc engines in these bikes, which makes it much more interesting indeed. And as they make their way over the line
looks
now,
like somebody making a move just down the inside of the final turn. It was Johnny Garnes, as we saw on the live stream on Facebook, making a position move. See if he can keep that position. I wasn't able to see through our vantage point through turn 1. There is a little blind spot from our commentary area of turn 1, so if anything happens down there, we can't actually see it, unfortunately.
So with half distance we're on at the moment, Ollie Walker with the new fastest lap, 50.358, is only 0.232 of a second ahead of James Cook. Dylan Mellor down in third place with 4 tenths of a second separating him and Eddie O'Shea. And now the battle still raging on. It's between Eddie and Johnny. So Garnes coming through the final 2 corners up towards the line. The battle for the lead is around about the same as it was a moment ago. And yes, Johnny does take it ahead of Eddie O'Shea. So Johnny now up into 4th, 5th place now for Eddie O'Shea. Coming into turn 1 and turn 2. Does keep the position, so there we go, all good. And Ross Maguire, or in fact it was Ryan Hitchcock, who looked like he was trying to have a move up the inside of Evan Belford on the exit to turn 1. The very tight right-handed hairpin doesn't make much progress, but is certainly trying his absolute hardest to do so. Battle for the lead still raging on. James Cook just pushing the front of the bike, went quite deep on the exit of turn number 5, the right-hander, and understeer can really ruin your lap time and your battle. And down has gone one of the battle in the top.
He's got back up.
Yes, he's got back up and back on. Only lost out negligible position, and it was Dylan Mellor who went down. And luckily, he's all fine carrying on, which is good to see. Johnny Garnes now with a 50.322 with the fastest lap of the race. He's now into 3rd place. So that fall for him has really benefited Johnny, who could, well, with 2 laps to go, hold on to the position for 3rd place.
Fantastic stuff, and there's action happening, including down at turn 1 all over the place, including someone who had a bit of a tumble, who's Didn't see who that was, but
carrying
he's
on.
back
No, off has gone. Was that our second place man? James Cook has dropped it on the exit of turn number 6. The second of the left-handers. He's up. He's got his hands in his head. Look how dejected he feels really dejected in that. He's going to get back on.
And someone else as well.
And who else has gone off? And that's we can't see who that one is, but
yeah, they're both on their feet, thankfully. So it wasn't a harsh fall, but yeah, both riders.
But now Johnny Garnett, with 1 lap to go, is on a 50.220 and is now into second place. Moving on, we've got someone pulled off to the side of the road at turn 1 as well, and they're not off the bike. The bike just seems to have conked out and run out of steam.
Yeah.
So we'll find out who that is in just a moment's time for you. It's coming up with Josh Bannister and Mason Johnson, who are falling back. No, it's Josh Bannister who's falling back. So with the final flag, the final lap flag out now, we are going to get the checker flag in any moment. And Ollie Walker, quite a quiet race for him. And as he takes the checkered flag, although it's not been given on circuit, it's been given on our timing screen. It will be Ollie Walker who takes the victory ahead of Johnny Garnett, Ryan Hitchcock, Eddie O'Shea, Evan Belford, Ross Maguire, Dylan Mellor, Mason Foster, Taylor Stewart Campbell, James Cook, Sandy Horn, Troy Jeffrey, Owen Mellor, Jack Kirch, Mason Johnson, and Manuel Brinton. I'll get it right eventually. Down in 16th after that first lap tumble. Max Perry, Alexander Merchant, and Cameron Saul. And
thank you very much, Dan Mart, for calling that brilliant race. And there was lots of action happening all of a sudden on that penultimate and final lap as well, and certainly catching us commentators out by surprise. You literally didn't know where to look, and all of a sudden, while we were waiting for a rather orderly finish towards the end of the race, it all turned into chaos, but we will sort it out eventually. And timing screen says that Ollie Walker took the checkered flag, and that's probably what you can see as well on your timing. So that's what we will read out. And thank you very much for continuing to tune in to our live race coverage here at Cool Fab Racing. Sidecars are out next, and an update from race control from Roger that we are expected to have a slightly extended lunch break. We are running quite ahead of schedule, so after these sidecars, before the third round of races gets underway, we will have an extended lunch, which will be nice, I suppose, because we've had certainly an epic morning of racing as well. So that's no bad thing. We can all put our feet up for an extra 10 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes. How far actually are we ahead?
We're about half an hour ahead now.
That's a significant amount, yes, I suppose. But that might even mean that we restart earlier and go home earlier, all things being well. But they... yeah, I don't want to jinx anything, but thank you very much for tuning in live on our Facebook stream. My name is Lester. Dan Marr is here commentating and filling in for Alex Raby this weekend, and we've been watching very diligently everybody's lovely messages that's been coming in at Cool Fab Racing on Twitter and Cool Fab Racing on Facebook as well. Next out for the final race before lunch, it is the Mini F1 Sidecars.
The original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready?
Certainly are, yes. Sidecars out next, on track and about to start their green flag lap, and way ahead of schedule, which is pretty good, pretty orderly from everyone. Well done for a nice, clean running order, which has inevitably meant that we're enjoying the sunshine during lunch a little bit longer. My name is Lester. This is round 4 of the 2017 Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. Dan Marr is our commentator for today, and myself filling in for Alex Raby, who is unfortunately ill this weekend. And
we hope he gets
us.
Gets better soon.
Indeed, and Alex will be jealous to know that we're off enjoying a wonderful lunch at the hospitality area.
Let's not rub it in. Don't rub it in.
So,
let's get on with the racing.
Hello to Alex, and Dan Marr is calling this next and final F1 sidecar race before lunch.
Yes, so the second mini F1 sidecar race of the weekend. Of course, they've got the final race today, scheduled at 16:30. So, pole position will be number 26, Mick Williams, and Danny Stainer in the 17 will line up alongside him. Paul Coulters Sr. will be on the 25 in third. Fourth is Mick Lee on the 144. Simon Ibbotson in the number 46 will be in fifth. Sixth will be Paul Coulters Jr. on the 24. Adrian Ems and Mark Parker 76 and 230 on 7th and 8th. Row 4. Row 5 is John Hosker on the 127. An 8-lap race. I'm actually being told it's a 5-lap race for the F1 sidecars, according to my timing. So we will be getting underway for a short burst race, but nonetheless it'll make life extremely interesting, won't it?
There's nothing quite like a short burst of sidecar action,
No.
I would say, especially these mini F1 sidecars, and
The go-kart sizing is a go-kart track. It just works, doesn't it?
it certainly does. It certainly does.
So as they come up towards the line now, we get ready for our final action of the afternoon before we go for our lunch break. We'll give you, before we go off air for the lunch break, we will give you a full rundown of what's to come this afternoon. So do not go anywhere. You want to enjoy this fantastic race we've got here and all the remaining racing we've got today as the final handful of sidecars get to the grid, and we are ready for a start here as they get into position, and the start line marshal walks away with the red flag to indicate where you need to stop on circuit and picks up the green flag. Let's hope we don't get a jump start in this one like we did a few moments ago. Green flag goes up, a little bit of creeping, but lights drop now. That's a decent start there from Mick Williams. That is certainly enough to give him the lead into turn 1. Very closely behind is Danny Stainer. They had a great battle in race number 1, and as I say that, 76 goes wide, Adrian Ems goes wide on the exit of turn 1, which did cost him 2 or 3 positions. So as they come up towards turn number 4 for the first time out of 5, it's going to be a good lead there for Mick Williams ahead of Danny Stainer, and it looks like Mick Lee has made it up into third place ahead of Paul Coulters Sr. Everyone streaming through the final couple of corners side by side there, up towards the final 2 corners, side and side there for the 76, who tries to get a cutback on Mark Parker, I believe, but as they come over the line, it is Mick Williams ahead of Danny Stainer, and side by side, as you say, over the line, the 76 just manages to get ahead of Paul Coulters Jr. 3 thousandths of a second was the gap over the line. He was on Ryder's left-hand side, managed to get it through on the grass. Nonetheless, there is Mick Williams ahead of Danny Stainer, Mick Lee, Paul Coulters Sr., Adrian Ems, Simon Ibbotson now in 6th place, 7th place for Paul Coulters Jr., Mark Parker and Josh Hosker, or John Hosker, is your race order. Only a 5-lap race, so not too long, certainly enough to give us a good demonstration of these handmade, home-brewed machines. Of course, unlike many of the vehicles here where they are effectively stock or spec, you can do a lot to these to improve the performance, which is why you can hear in our lovely stereo audio the differences, the engines, the make, and there's a yellow flag out at turn number 6, at the end of turn 6 and 7 on the right hand side. The rider's getting off that. I'm not sure whose that's going to be. It is Mark Parker in the 230 who stopped out on circuit. John Hosker coming through in 8th place. Simon Ibbotson, of course, confirmed ahead of Paul Coulters Jr. And as they come through the final couple of corners in the lap, halfway through the lap they go. Mick Williams in the 26 Leicester's pointed something out.
Yeah, I noticed a position change.
And that's 24. So, Paul Quarters Jr., I think, has actually got back through.
Yeah, past, was it Ibbotson?
Simon Ibbotson, yes.
So, fantastic stuff as Mick Williams thunders over the line from Danny Stainer and Mick Lee in third place, all covered right now by less than 5 seconds.
And of course they've moved the sidecar of Mark Parker has been moved out of the way, just 3 laps left to run, so not too long, very nice, very short, very sweet, as I keep saying, and it is entirely true. But as they make their way up towards the middle portion of the lap, the closest gap I can see on circuit so far is the one between, and that's slowing, is 144. Mick Lee out of third place has slowed, which has allowed Paul Quarters Sr. through. And pulling off now is Mick Lee, so sadly a yellow flag at turn 4 on rider's left hand side, out of any danger realistically. Still have to take it cautious on the exit there, as going very wide there is Paul Quarters Jr. onto the exit of the curbing, also onto the exit of the curbing at turn number 5, so never mind whether it's curbing on the left, curbing on the right, he's going to take it through. Nonetheless, means Mick Williams is going to take a good victory, so we're going to get the couple of flags out in just a few moments time, but it's a shame we've lost 2 sidecars now, so only 7 running in this race. So as they come over the line once again, it's a 2.436 second gap between Mick Williams and Danny Stainer. Those two had a great little dice yesterday, not on track terms, but just in terms of having a good, chasing each other down, strategic kind of battle. Not too long left, just 2 laps left to go. I'm being told the flag will come out just, final lap flag will come out just a second. Is Leicester Forbes is something you wish to share with us?
Yeah, certainly, as you said, Dan, not long left, but that certainly means that there's certainly a bit of action ready to happen, certainly on track, because, literally anything could happen. It's not necessarily going to be a walkover by Mick Williams, and Danny Stainer is only 2.5 seconds behind him at the moment. Paul Quarters Sr. in third place, he is a bit further behind, and what are the gaps? 11.1 seconds back to the leader now is third place Paul Quarters Sr. and Adrian Enns still in fourth place with Quarters Jr. in fifth place, and Ibbotson remains in sixth place, and all looking strong and stable, Dan.
Yes, very. Let's move on from that. The checker flag out now, and it is another victory this weekend for Mick Williams on board his Mini F1 sidecar. Danny Stainer takes the checkered flag 2.576 seconds behind. Paul Quarters Sr. will complete our rostrum, and in fact comes through 13.2 seconds behind the race winner. Adrian Ems is due to come around in fourth place. Fifth place for Paul Quarters Jr. Simon Ibbotson will be in sixth. Seventh will be John Hosker. Mick Lee and Mark Parker were very sadly retirements out of the race, and we will see them out the last race of today, of course, and as they come over and complete the race here. Sixth place Simon Ibbotson taking the flag. Let's just quickly remind everyone, both online and here trackside, as to our schedule, or our scheduled schedule. I believe now we'll be going on to lunch, which will be 20 minutes earlier than before. We were originally due to take the AC40 rookie race at 13:45. Now bear in mind, these times are likely to move forward because of how early we're running, so do stick around on the Facebook, on the Twitter, anywhere you're watching this and listening, and also here trackside. 2 o'clock will be the Mini GP50 third race in the weekend. The senior mini motos will be at 2:20. 2:55 for the junior LC40s once more. The PB140/Moto Team race is at 15:10, 15:30 for the Mini GP70. The Pit Bike Opens will be back out at 15:50, 16:10 for the AC40 Pros, and 16:30 the final race of the weekend, the F1 sidecars once again. So if you're here trackside, if you're listening online, on Facebook, on Twitter to Cool Fab Racing Radio, thank you for joining us, and any final thoughts, Lester, or are we going to head off for our lunch?
Din-dins now.
Din-dins,
Yes. So thank you. As Dan said, brilliant job by Dan Marr to call all of this morning's first round of action here at Tattersall for round 4 of the 2017 Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. We are the original and best and partner series to the BSB. We will be back on Facebook with our stream once again, fingers crossed, this afternoon for the final round of racing for a few hours' time. And also, again, still online at coolfabracing.com. And you can, incidentally, download a copy of every race. The radio version, which includes all 3 races. By the way, you can head to the iTunes store and they're all there for you. Just type in Cool Fab Racing, find your race, find the weekend, and listen back to some of the no doubt epic coverage that we provided. So it's lunch, and we will be back online and back on the PA after dinner.
The original and best British championships for mini bikes. This is Cool Fab Racing.